This is the Hobie Outback Mirage. It's a 12-foot boat. I'm going to kind of do a sweep down the boat here. This is the bow. There's the handle. There's my rod holder. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. It's got some special modifications. There's my fish finder holder. It's on the ram mount there. That's a hummingbird model. This is the main area, sitting area. Obviously, there's an area to just put some stuff. There's a waterproof hole. There's a little water bottle that comes with the kayak. That's very important. You should keep that filled. This is my hummingbird fish finder. We'll talk about that later. The seat. This is the anchor line, anchor trolley. That's my milk crate with all my goodies. And I'm going to talk about all these different areas as we go further into the video. Doing a lot of modifications on your kayak, it's important to have a drill, and a cordless drill is better. Good bits, good drill bits, ones that are exact diameter for either your rivets or your screws. That's important as well because you don't want water to come in through these holes. In addition, rivet guns, they're very important. Don't be cheap on your rivet guns. They are going to be very important. And some kind of goop. Plumber's goop, regular goop, shoe goop, doesn't seem to make a lot of difference. I like the purple, so I use the plumber's goop. One of the most important things on any kayak is to have an anchor trolley, especially in the Northwest. You do a lot of anchoring in our rivers and in our lakes. So one of the things you'll see in a lot of kayaks is this modified anchor trolley. Back up a close-up of the ring and the anchor trolley line. One of the important things that we've gone over is that your anchor line moves easily and has the ability to run this ring, which is where the line's going to come from the anchor to either run off the bow or the stern. Now I'm going to give you a little more detail on the anchor system. First off, almost every good kayak, fly angler, or regular angler has a milk crate. This is my anchor system. I have 300 feet of line right here. This is another cincher. I'll show you that in a minute. I have some floats, and I have this which goes at the very bottom. This attaches my float. So what I do is I have this long line, and what I'll first do if I'm getting in the kayak and I'm going to anchor, I'm going to attach my anchor. This is a claw anchor, hence the claw. So I toss my anchor overboard, and then I'll start letting the line out, and then I get to the point where I'm snug. I toss the whole system overboard. One little tip. Before I toss the whole thing overboard, I cinch it down here and this little piece right here, and what that does is that now has the anchor line going off the back, floating lines off the front, and then this will go through my ring, and I'll run that in the back. Once it's in the back, set it up, the line through this stainless steel carabiner, cinch it into my anchor, or into a rope cinch, and then that way the line's running off the back, and then if I ever need to release the kayak, all I do is pop that, the line comes through, and now I'm free. This is my crate. I have a little connector here, a separator, so I can put my containers here, and I can put my anchor system here. I like 3 rod holders, so when I'm launching, I can put 3 different rods up. I've cut and modified these so that my fly rods can fit down in. That's it, and it fits right down in there, and it holds it pretty snug. And then I also put something there. These are rod keepers, so in the event that the rod does fall off, it still is connected and you don't lose it. So when you put a lot of money, hundreds, thousands into your rod, it's always helpful to make sure that it does not disappear. Even though my Hobie has the Mirage drive, which is one of the most unique drives out there right now, I always carry a paddle in case I don't want to screw up my Mirage drive by going into really shallow water. One key thing about a paddle, you should always have a paddle keeper. Paddle keeper makes sure that if the paddle were to get disconnected from your boat for any reason, or if it were to slip out of your hands, it would be able to stay connected to your boat. I like fish finders on my kayaks because I know how deep the water is, and I can also locate fish. In this particular case, I have a ram mount that connects on here, and I have the Humminbird fish finder. I have a matrix fish finder with the cover. Humminbird connects up just like this. It's a great little mount. It can connect and move around without too much difficulty. Of course, now if you're going to have a fish finder, you're going to need some power. So in here I run a small power cord. I have this battery connector here with two ends. This is red, this is black. It's good to mark those because you never know if you're going to do something in a hurry and you're going to forget which is red or which is black, and that could throw up or screw up your fish finder. So this little unit here sits down in here and it connects into the power. This. And turn this around. Power's up. Good. I'm using a through-hole transducer, which means that the transducer is in the hole and it just shoots right through it. It's strong enough to pick up any of the depths that I'm going to get into. Here is the rod holder. I did some modifications on this. This is PVC. This is a couple felt things that are used for furniture to give it a little bit of grip. Here's my Scotty. These are pretty common. Most kayak anglers use the Scotty as opposed to the Tempest because of the ability for it to mount on this off the top. What I did with this is I didn't really want to cut any more holes in my kayak. So I tried to figure out a way to modify what I had. And there are 4 rod holders. So I figured, why not just use those? That's what I did. So I took my PVC, took the Scotty holder, put some U-bolts here, did some modifications that I'll show you in a minute, and then in it goes, tight, and for the most part it doesn't move a whole lot, which is what we want. Whenever I go kayaking, I always make sure that I carry a dry bag. My dry bag has some socks, shirts, pants, just to make sure I have some clothes that in the event that I fall in, or I'm very cold or I'm wet, that I have some way of at least trying to get somewhat dry. Okay, we've gone over the boat. It's very important. Safety is first, regardless. Always wear your PFDs. Always be prepared. Whenever I'm out in the Northwest and it's cold or it's wet, I wear neoprenes. I will go over some of that in later videos. But for Kayak Fly Angler, thank you very much. I'm very excited about launching this. This is going to be a great boat. I appreciate all the help that Hobie has done, and Scappoose Bay Kayaks. They were very instrumental in me getting the boat. And the next one, and we'll see you on the water. Kayak Fly Angler.